arrived at your destination.
You turned off your GPS as you pulled into the parking lot, looking around for an empty space. The sun was high in the sky, but it did nothing to dim the bright, flashing neon lights coming from a lighted sign above the building you were supposed to be going into. Pulling into the parking space, you stopped for a moment to make sure you were at the right place.
Press escape. Seems about right.
You hummed, reading the neon sign. You stepped out of the car, shielding your eyes against the sun. You were grabbing your bag when someone put their hands over your eyes.
Guess who?
An enthusiastic voice chirped.
Tokage! Don't scare me like that!
You cried, brushing her hands away from your eyes, trying to suppress your laughter. Tokage laughed, raising her hands up in surrender. Or rather, her disembodied hands returned to their proper places as your old classmates strolled up to you.
Sorry, it's just been so long since I've seen you!
Tokage gushed, giving you a big hug.
I'm just surprised that you organized a class reunion at an escape room, of all things,
you remarked, glancing up at the building again. Tokage shrugged, patting you on the back.
Hey, with how busy our lives are, it'll be nice to take a break and let loose every now and then. The villains can wait for just a little bit.
She laughed.
Plus, it'll be nice to catch up. Speaking of...
Tokage grinned at you, putting her hands on her hips.
I hear that you and Monoma have been hanging out a lot.
You laughed embarrassedly, covering your cheeks with your hands.
We just happen to run into each other on patrols a lot, and we have a lot of things to talk about that we aren't always done with when we go our separate ways.
You giggled, giving Tokage a playful shove.
In that case, you might want to look behind you. Anyways, I just saw Kodai pull up. Okay, bye!
Tokage cried before rushing away to greet Kodai. You blinked, confused, and glanced behind you. My, I see you missed me. And it hasn't even been a day since we last met up. Monoma hummed, strolling up to you with a smug smile on his face.
Monoma! Nice to see you. And bold of you to assume that I missed you.
You teased, sticking out your tongue at him. Monoma laughed, giving you a slight nudge. At least you kept our relationship a secret. Knowing the media, we get bombarded with messages for weeks. The blonde groaned. You rolled your eyes, tugging on his sleeve.
Oh, let's get inside. It's really hot out here.
You sighed. Monoma nodded in agreement, looking up at the neon sign, as the two of you made your way up to it. Couldn't think of a catchier name. Monoma muttered.
Oh, hush. I think it's plenty catchy.
You retorted.
You will be divided into teams of 5, and each assigned to a different escape room.
The guide explained.
Everyone please step forward and pick a scrap of paper from the box. The color you get is the color of your team.
You held back as the rest of the people in the room rushed forward. After all, you didn't want to be crushed in the stampede. It never ceases to amaze me how even though we've all matured over the years, sometimes we still act like children. Monoma drawled, watching Subaraba rush away from the crowd with the slip of paper clutched in his hand as if it was a precious ring.
Oh, come on, be nice.
You scolded him, stepping forward to grab a slip of paper now that the crowd had dispersed somewhat. Monoma followed your lead, also reaching his hand into the box. The slip of paper that you pulled out of the box was light blue. What do you know? Monoma hummed, waving his own piece of light blue paper. Looks like it was destiny. You rolled your eyes at his declaration, glancing around to find your teammates. Light blue? Hey! Who else is light blue? You turned to see Awase, Subaraba, and Pony, all clutching slips of light blue paper. Subaraba was the one who yelled, waving you over with a big grin on his face.
Looks like we found our team.
You grinned, making your way over to them. Monoma huffed, following suit. Well, forgive me for wanting to spend more time with you alone, he muttered to himself. The door to the escape room closed with a heavy thud as you walked in with the rest of your group.
Wow! Looks like it's one of those creepy escape rooms,
Pony exclaimed, looking around with wide eyes. She was definitely right. The room was dimly lit with a few flickering lights. Whatever. Let's just get this shit over with and get out of here, Awase grumbled, immediately splitting off and disappearing into a separate part of the room. What? Awase? We have to stick together! Subaraba yelled, rushing after him. As your eyes adjusted, you took in your surroundings. It appeared to be an abandoned cabin. There was a window which opened to a seemingly bigger area, which looked to be surrounded by trees. You could hear Awase and Subaraba bantering in the room off to the right, and Pony was walking around your current area, looking at everything curiously.
Yep, locked.
Pony sighed, rattling the doorknob of the cabin door. Are you scared? Monoma teased, noticing you standing still. If you are, you can stay by my side. You elbowed him, reproachfully.
I'm not scared at all. Now come on, we gotta find a way out of here.
You huffed. Monoma sighed, sweeping his hair to the side. Well, we're not getting out of here if the group continues to be chaotic like this. I'll get Subaraba and Awase looking for clues instead of bickering. You can stay here with Pony, he explained.
Sounds good. What are we going to do if you find clues then?
Leave that to me. Give what you find to me, and I'll handle the rest, Monoma said coyly. You rolled your eyes, an amused smile on your face.
Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants. Don't disappoint me now.
You joked. Monoma gave you a light flick on the forehead in retaliation, though his eyes were affectionate all the same. You had to admit, Monoma seemed to know what he was doing. Once he got Awase and Subaraba to stop bickering, the five of you started to run like a well-oiled machine. You and Pony scoured the kitchen and living room for clues, finding the odd code or key here and there. Awase and Subaraba looked in the bedroom and storage closet, although things got a little messy when Subaraba knocked over a book onto Awase's head, causing another fight to break out. We have 5 more minutes to get out of this cabin, Monoma. Do you have a single clue at all, or are you just bullshitting? Awase growled, rattling the doorknob again.
Remember what the guide said. No quirks.
Pony said sternly. Monoma let out a short laugh as he looked over the gathered clues, rubbing his chin as he gazed at them all. 2 chests locked with a code and a key, an odd maze contraption Pony found, a group of papers with nonsensical numbers and letters, and a piece of paper with a bunch of arrows on it. A smug smile crossed Monoma's face. I have no idea what this means. A resounding smack rang across the room as you and the rest of the group all face-palmed at the same time.
Monoma, I thought you said you had this.
You cried. Monoma held up his hands in self-defense, a wry smile on his face. Look, why don't you help me figure this out? Pony, Awase, Subaraba, can you check the other rooms for clues we may have missed? Monoma asked. Sure, but you'd better figure it out. Maybe you're not as smart as you look. Subaraba teased. Monoma gave him a withering look. As the others left to go search the rooms again, you sat down next to Monoma, who was observing one of the codes Pony found. I thought you were smarter than this. You teased, shuffling through the paper codes that you found. Monoma shrugged, spinning the lock on one of the boxes. Oh, I am. I just wanted to spend some time alone with you. The blonde smirked, and the lock clicked open. You stared blankly at him for a second before the blonde brushed your hair out of the way and laid a kiss on your forehead. I know I don't show you as much affection as I should, but I'm glad you're here, Monoma murmured. You bring out the best in me, whether I like it or not. He squeezed your hand, a small smile crossing his face. I love you, my dear, Monoma whispered. You turned away from him, embarrassment clear on your face.
Oh, I love you too.
Well, now with that out of the way, let's get on with this, shall we? Monoma coughed, his grip leaving your own.
You're blushing.
You teased him. No, I'm not. You're blushing.
Look at how red your cheeks are. You're blushing.
It's hot in here, okay?
No, it's not.
The key turned in the door's lock with a satisfying click. Pony and Subaraba cheered as they pushed the door open, hopping out into the lobby and high-fiving each other. Awase followed suit, a small smile on his face. You'd almost think that they were the ones who solved everything. Monoma scoffed.
Oh, come on. Pony was the one who figured out the maze puzzle.
You retorted. Setsuno walked over and gave you a hug, beaming.
Took you long enough. We were getting worried.
She laughed.
Also, you and Monoma were dating? How come you never told us? What?
You sputtered, eyes widening in surprise. Setsuno grinned and pointed to the TV screen near the entrance of the escape room. It displayed a live feed of the room inside.
Oh.
Well, the secret is out, isn't it? Monoma sighed dramatically. And here I was hoping to keep this between ourselves for a little longer. The blonde took your hand, pressing a kiss on the back of it. I suppose we can go for a dinner date now.
You never told us this?
Subaraba cried indignantly. Monoma just grinned smugly before tugging on your hand. Shall we go? He asked. You grinned, squeezing his hand tightly.
Yeah, why not?